This is a tough decision. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, my name is Lizzie and I'm a Disney plush collector, but I do all things Disney on this channel, so if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell so that you're always notified when there's a new video from me. So happy Tuesday, I hope you're all having a great start to your week. I am actually doing a plush video today and it's a video I'm very excited about as I am doing my own personal ranking of the Minnie Mouse The Main Attraction plushes. I am actually wearing my Small World Spirit jersey that you saw in last week's video. So if you missed that, I will leave a card up above to that video, and you may notice that I've got a new unit for my Squishmallows. So if you'd like to see my Squishmallow collection, they are not Disney. I only have one Disney Squishmallow, but if you would like to see my whole collection, then just drop it in the comments. I'd be more than happy to do that. But you will see me do this in Friday's video, so make sure you come back on Friday to see it. This is just a little sneak peek. So I stress that this is my own personal ranking because I don't want to upset anybody when I put their favourite quite low down in my rankings. These are just my personal rankings, and if I have any explanations for each of them, then I will say so. I would be really interested to hear your thoughts in the comments, so either tell me your 12 in order or just your most favourite and your least favourite. So before I start showing them to you, although you saw them in the thumbnail, God, that was hard to take a picture of. I was struggling to hold all of them and I just thought I was going to drop them and I didn't want to take the thumbnail again. So you're just going to have to deal with that one. It's not the best thumbnail, but... So before we begin, I'm just going to show you how they all look on the shelves so that you can see them in month order, because that's how I display them. I think that's how everybody displays them. You may notice that the pins are now missing, and that's because when I went to the Disney store before they all closed again for tier 4, I managed to pick up the pin book, so they are all displayed as Disney intended them to be displayed, and I filmed a little time lapse of me putting them all in because they're quite difficult to get in. I didn't realise when I saw people using this book just how difficult they are to put into the little pockets, but I thought I'd do a time lapse and then show you what it looks like with them all in the book. So those are all done. I am only doing a ranking of the plushes. I'm not going to be doing the pins or the mug, and that is just purely because they will pretty much be the same unless there's a pin that I really like in one of my lower down rankings. It wouldn't change that much. And as I'm a plush collector, I want to do this from the perspective of the plush, as I know a lot of the pin collectors are going to be ranking the pins. So this took me a long time. I did do this before with my Mickey Memories, and if you didn't see that video, I will leave a card up above so that you can see younger Lizzie, because that's like a 2-year-old video now. But I really deliberated on this. I just sat there for ages staring at them, which is easy because they're all displayed so lovely, but it was still really difficult. I think if I was in my old house I would have really struggled because there was nowhere that I could put all 12 of them together. But I wrote them in my YouTube planning book. At first I only had like the bottom ones sorted out, and then I had like in pencil good and okay, and then I changed my mind. Like you can see in the book where I've just decided to switch 2 around because I changed my mind. And this is very important to note that this is my ranking right now. Some of them might change but I won't do like an updated one. This isn't the last video that I'm doing with my minis, but I really don't want to tell you what that is. It's coming next month and I don't know as anyone else is doing it, so I would like to keep it a secret until I do it. But let's get into the rankings. I've got them all written down here, and I will just say right now that the easiest one to decide upon was my least favourite. And I think you all know me well enough that if this one hadn't been my least favourite, you would have thought something was wrong. So my least favourite one is August, which is based on Dumbo the Flying Elephant. I actually did a whole video ranting about this one purely because it arrived separately to the mug and pins, so I had to do a mug and pins video, and then I did a plush video. I think you arrived in like October, didn't you? And I had a massive rant, so if you missed that video I'll leave a card. But just to give you the Bridge Notes edition, Dumbo the Flying Elephant in most of the parks except Walt Disney World is pink and purples and pastel colours basically, so I think they should have gone with a pastel pink. However, they went with this colour to go with Walt Disney World when the collection was based on Disneyland in California that has a pastel colour scheme. I will die on this hill that this is not what they should have done. It closer resembles the film rather than the attraction, and I'm just not here for it. I'm just not, I'm sorry. If I hadn't been collecting all 12, I wouldn't have got this one, put it that way. So she is 8 of 12, so 8 of 12 is coming in 12th. Coming in at number 11 is where I decided to change it. I have switched number 11 and number 9 just because I thought I was being too harsh. So coming in 11th place is February Minnie, which was based on the Pirates of the Caribbean, which is actually one of my favourite attractions. So I'm not ranking this in order of my favourite attractions. I'm purely going off whether I like the Minnie or not. Now, I absolutely hated this one when we saw a sneak peek in January, and it did grow on me when I saw it in person, but the ones that have come later have just been so much better that this is why she's number 11. This one also holds a sentimental place in my heart, as she was the last one I got from store. My boss had let me come in late that day, so I went to the Disney store and then went straight to an all-team meeting, but I did manage to get her, and I got the pins and the mug, and I also got the ears for my friends Nate and Craig. But this one just comes in at number 11 because I'm not a massive fan of the colour scheme. I personally would have preferred if they went for like something based on red from the Disneyland attraction, because I think this one just falls a little flat, unfortunately. And then she is 2 of 12, but she's coming in at 11th place. So I'm really sorry, Minnie. She is really lovely. She's better in person than she looked in the promo pictures, but I'm not a fan of the colour gold. I love that there's a skull on it because I was an emo when I was younger, so it like really speaks to me, but the colours just aren't for me. So number 11. And then coming in 10th place, this is going to be a shock to some of you given my Spirit jersey, but like I said, this is not based on the attraction itself, it's on the representation of the attraction. So coming in at number 10 is April, which was based on It's a Small World. As you can see, it's just very, very shiny. I think they went a bit over the top with this particular plush. If she didn't have a shiny quality to her, she might have been very, very pretty, but I just think she wasn't done right at all. And this disappointed me the most because being that It's a Small World is my all-time favourite attraction, I expected to love this one the most, and I just don't, unfortunately. Ones that are higher up aren't actually even in like my top 5 of my favourite attractions, which is crazy, but it just goes to show which ones they put more effort into, I guess, because this one just feels like if it was just a regular pastel pink and a pastel purple, it would have been fine, but I just don't like the shine that the light gives this one. And she is 4 of 12, but she is coming in 10th just because of her shiny quality. I was really disappointed with not loving this one, as I really thought this would be my favourite, especially for people who were only buying their favourite attraction. I would be very disappointed if I'd only bought this one, looking how she looks. And then coming in at number 9, this is the one that I switched with number 11, and I know I'm going to get dragged for putting this so low, but just hear me out. So coming in at number 9 is July, which is based on the carousel. I do love the colours of the dress, but I just think that her plush is a little too light. It really stands out as being like the palest of them all. Where It's a Small World is the shiniest of them all, this one is the palest. Like you can see, it's kind of blending into my Squishmallows. So I feel really bad putting this one so low because I know that it's the favourite of both Jolly Holiday with Mary and Mary at the Siskateers. So a plus point for this one is that it's very popular amongst people called Mary. But my name is Lizzie and I just love some of these so much more. It would be higher if I didn't love the others as much. I feel like now that I'm getting to this like kind of middly territory that I feel terrible for ranking them where I've ranked them, but to me it's only the bottom 3 and the top 3 that really matter. And then she is 7 of 12. So I feel bad putting her in 9th place, but I think it's just because she is so light. I think if her colours stood out a bit more, she would stand out more for me in my ranking. But like I said, this is my own personal ranking. I don't want to upset anybody because I know that that is 2 of my friends' favourites. Moving on to number 8, we have got the December Minnie that was based on the Disneyland fireworks. I had a bit of a rant about this one as well, so if you missed that I will leave a card up above. It's supposed to be the Sleeping Beauty castle, but that and that are quite obviously the Cinderella castle, and I think Disney staff should know the difference a bit more. I get really frustrated when even like normal people say I'm going to Disneyland in Florida and things like that, and the fact that Disney staff are making this error as well is just unacceptable, and it's another hill that I'm going to die on because I just think they've got different names for a very specific reason so that you don't make errors like this, and I just can't get on board with the fact that the castle's wrong. So as pretty as it is, I was very upset, and I also think that for the very last one it's quite underwhelming, considering with Mickey Memories we got that like silver one that had a Walt quote on it. This one is cute, but I don't like the dress, and I think the ears are a little bit too out there. And then 12 of 12 is coming in at number 8. So I'm sorry about that. I know a lot of other people were upset that it's the wrong castle, so it's not just me being panicky. I just think that Disney should make a clear distinction. If it's supposed to be based on Disneyland, it should be based on Disneyland. But as we saw with Dumbo, not all of it was based on Disneyland, and that was a mighty error. Moving on to number 7 is January, that was based on Space Mountain. Until last May, I had never been on Space Mountain, but I think this is absolutely gorgeous, and as you can tell from my ranking, for the first few months this was actually my favourite. So to be pushed down to number 7 shows how much better the rest of the collection is. I really loved that her plush is like galaxy. When I got it from the store, a lot of people were trying to pick the best print and I just can't be bothered. I think that's because I was used to, especially with the Mickey Memories, just ordering them online and getting what I got, and it happened for the rest of the collection. So I'm not upset because the rest of them I just got what I was given, so I don't think it matters to pick them out in the store. And she is 1 of 12. This was one of my mum's least favourite because she didn't like the plastic dress, but I think it's really clever that they made it look like the Space Mountain building. I think they did it really well, and for the first one in the collection it really knocked our socks off as to what they could do. Like already from the first month I knew this was going to be an amazing collection, but she's still number 7. Now we're at the halfway point, and I'll just stress again that I felt really bad with the middle. I think only the top 3 and bottom 3 matter, but I was still really concerned about how my middle came across. So for number 6 is November, the Jungle Cruise. As you can see, her ears are really bent, and that's because of this here. I did try my best to fix it. If you want a tip, you can use like hair clips. You can use hair clips if it's going to go that way, just to give it some weight to pull it back, and then leave it there for a few days and then take it off. I did actually do that. I had to bend that ear back because there's no way this one's going to bend forward because of that. But as lovely as this one is, I do absolutely love it. I don't like animal print at all, and I really don't like the colour cream either, and like safari vibes. So this is more that I don't like the personal style. I think it represents the Jungle Cruise beautifully, it's just not my style, that's all. And she is 11 of 12. I really like her plush. It's like a very dark green, which really works for her. It's just that I don't like animal print as a personal preference. So number 11 is coming in at number 6. Oh god, I feel like I'm going to get so much hate for this. But coming in at number 5 is June, which was based on Peter Pan's flight, which is one of my mum's favourite attractions. Now look, dress, absolutely love. Bow, absolutely love. What I don't love is how much different her face looks. So if I just grab a random one, her face looks like her nose is sticking out far more. Like it's higher and the underneath of her nose sticks out more, and I'm not here for it. I think I might have a defective one. I'm not entirely sure. Peter Pan's flight is in my top 5 of favourite attractions, so you know that there had to be a problem with this plush for me to rank it so low, and it is just because of this. And I think you can see what I mean. If not, I'm crazy. Just let me know in the comments that I'm crazy. And she is 6 of 12, but she's coming in 5th place for me. So it's just this nose that kind of stresses me out. I don't mind about the creasing because you can kind of get creasing out yourself. It was much worse. It was kind of like up here, so I got a clip and pulled it down, but I don't want to take like an iron to it or anything in case I ruin it, because I'm assuming this isn't the kind of fabric we would wear. It's the kind of fabric that would get damaged on the first iron. So this is 5th place. As we are getting closer to my top 3, I will remind you guys again that this is my personal ranking, and if your ranking differs, that is completely fine. Just let me know in the comments, because I'd love to know how people rank them differently. So coming in 4th is by far the most elaborate of the 12, I would say. This one is actually missing a tail, but it's okay. And it is the March plush that was based on the Mad Hatter's teacup. So I'm not a big Alice in Wonderland fan, but I do love the teacups. I think they've done this really well because they've got like the teacup design on here. She's wearing a hat, which is why I say she's the most elaborate, because it's a very tall hat. We do have one in my top 3 that wears a hat similar, but it's a little bit lower. And I just think they've done this really, really well. And this is 3 of 12. So this is number 4 in my ranking. I just really love the colours. I think it's really playful and really well done. So that's number 4. Just got like a sea of minis stacked on top of each other. I'll have to do like a little time lapse of me putting them all back in a moment. And then we're on to the top 3, which like I said, I feel is the most important. So coming in at number 3 is September, which is based on Big Thunder Mountain. Just like Space Mountain, I hadn't been on Big Thunder Mountain until May of last year. I think this one's been done really, really well, especially with the train on the dress. And she is 9 of 12, but she is coming in 3rd for me. I just think she's absolutely stunning and she's been done so well. And her face isn't even white. It's a very, very, very pale pink, which goes really well with the denim. And then we're in the top 2. So I really struggled to decide which one was my favourite out of these 2, especially since one of these is in my top 5 attractions. But like I said, this is going off how I feel about the plush, not the attraction. So coming in 2nd is the only other plush apart from the Mad Tea Party that is missing a tail, and it is October, which was based on the Haunted Mansion. So I love that they chose October because Haunted Mansion does have Halloween vibes, even though I love going on it all year round. This is another one that has like a top hat, but as you can see, it's nowhere near as big as the Mad Hatter Teacups hat. I just think this is absolutely stunning. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I really did because I think it's different. It's a lot more like the Wishables, which I also love because it's like Minnie is a spirit in the Haunted Mansion. People wanted her to be based on like Constance or have more of the purple and black going on, but actually I really, really prefer this. I think they've done a really good job. And she was 10 of 12, but she's coming in at 2nd for me. She was honestly going to be 1st, but I can't stress to you enough how much I love my number 1. So this was number 2, Sashay Away. So I don't know whether you've already guessed which one is my number 1. If you've collected them all, then you'll know which one is missing. I just think this one was done perfectly, and obviously it's one that was released quite early in the year, so it's really stood out for me to end up being my number 1. But coming in 1st place for me is May, which was based on Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room. I absolutely love the Tiki Room. It's not in my top 5, but I love taking my family in there because I'm like dancing away and everybody else is really bored. The Tiki Room is an either love it or hate it attraction, and I love it, and I just think they did this plush so well, which is why it's number 1 for me. And she is 5 of 12, but number 1 to me. So that was my ranking of the Minnie Mouse The Main Attraction plushes. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a big thumbs up if you did, and comment down below letting me know your favourite, your least favourite, or just your whole 12 in order. I'd love to know how our opinions differ. Like I said earlier, I will be back on Friday for my clean with me video where I take down all my Christmas decorations and I put up this display and I just get everything back to normal working order, and I'll give you a quick room tour before I finish that video. Now before I end this, I'm going to do a quick time lapse of me putting them all back, as obviously I've made quite a mess of my room by doing this. So that is it from me today, guys. I hope you'll join me on Friday at 5 PM UK time for my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!